Pop. Chapter 3. Marshall woke up, trying to was. He realized that he had fallen asleep in the living room with Chase, Skye, and Everest after playing Pup Pup Boogie. "Good morning, Marshall," Chase greeted, with a giggle. "Oh, Chase. Why, you just got up too?" Marshall asked. "No, I had to get up earlier than everyone else, as always," Chase chuckled. "Hee, yeah, I knew that," Marshall chuckled as well. "Looks like somebody got tired with Pup Pup Boogie last night," Chase smirked. "Hey, come on. You fell asleep here too last night," Marshall reminded. "Oh, right. Yeah, I did," Chase said, almost forgetting that he had fallen asleep in the living room as well. "Pups, breakfast is ready," Ryder called from afar. "Oh, I better wake up the others." "You wake up Everest and Skye," Chase said. "Yeah, okay." Marshall nodded. Marshall decided to wake up the two girls from their peaceful beauty sleep. But instead, he trips on a chew toy and falls right on both of them. "Whoa!" Marshall, the two girls said at once after being awakened. "Sorry, Skye and Everest," Marshall apologized. "Hee, that's okay, Marshall," Everest giggled. "Anyway, I was gonna wake you two up because breakfast is ready. But I wasn't supposed to wake you up like that," Marshall explained, with a saddened look. "It's fine, Marshall. You were right to wake us up, though," Skye replied. Chase approaches them and shouts at them through his megaphone to hurry up and head to the kitchen for breakfast. 5. "Guys. Hurry up and breakfast is getting cold," Chase shouted, hurriedly. "All right, Chase. Let's go, guys," Skye replied. As they were following Chase down to the kitchen, a tin can was on the floor. Everyone was able to avoid it pretty easily, except for Marshall. He tumbles and crashes into them. Before they all knew it, the four pups were already rolling their way to the kitchen. "Whoa. Oof. Huh," everyone said, looking at Chase, Skye, Everest, and Marshall, all on top of each other. "What happened here?" Zuma questioned. We sorta bumped into each other on the way," Chase answered. "Sorry, Skye." Everest apologized. "It's okay, Everest," Skye responded. "It's not your fault, Everest. I tripped on the tin can and crashed into all of you." "Sorry, guys," Marshall admitted, disappointedly. "Oh." Everest stared silently. "That tin can was mine, sorry," Rocky brought up. "Seriously, dude? Your trash is everywhere, even inside the lookout," Zuma facepalmed. "Two accidents already before breakfast." "Here it goes again," Marshall sighed. "It's okay, Marshall. As long as nobody got hurt," Chase assured. "Nobody got hurt, yet," Marshall replied. An amount of silence filled the room as the four pups came to get their food. The rest of the pups, Zuma, Rocky, and Rubble, continued on their food. "You'll also like 121K 122 PAW family 30 Chase." That same morning after breakfast, all the pups were playing outside, except for Marshall. Ryder approaches them and realizes that someone is missing in the game. "Hey, where's Marshall? He's not joining you guys?" "Yeah, he said he didn't want to play," Rocky frowned. "I wonder what's wrong. I'll go check on him," Ryder thought. Ryder was interrupted when Jake suddenly arrived to pick up Everest. "Hey, Ryder." "Hey, pups." "Oh, hi Jake," Ryder greeted back. "Hey, Jake," the pups greeted as well. "How's it going here in Adventure Bay?" "Pretty good. No rescues yet so far today." "How is it in the mountains?" Ryder answered. "Oh, it's great. I got some family coming over today, so I need to pick up Everest." "Everest, ready to go?" Jake said. "Does it have to be now?" Everest asked. Sorry, Everest. The visitors are coming to the mountains in a bit, Jake explained. Okay, then. I'll just say bye to Marshall, Everest replied. 2. Everest went to Marshall to say bye before going back to the mountains. She saw the gloomy Dalmatian, sitting alone on a rock. Marshall? Oh, Hi, Everest, Marshall greeted. Are you okay? Everest asked. Yeah, I'm okay, Marshall answered. You don't look okay, Marshall, Everest told him. Actually. Not really. I just feel bad for messing up on everything. I don't even know if the Paw Patrol wants me and my clumsiness, Marshall opened up. Of course, they do. We like having you on the team no matter what you are, Everest responded. But aren't you guys annoyed I keep on causing trouble? Marshall asked. No, Marshall. You're not causing trouble. Chase said earlier that you're fine as long as nobody gets hurt. But what if one day somebody does? Marshall brought up. Everest went silent after his question. Look, Marshall. That will never happen. Trust me, Everest assured. 5. Marshall's disappointed look started to turn into a little smile. Everest knew that he would trust her and he always did. I gotta go now, Marshall. Jake needs me at the mountains, but I'll be back again soon, Everest said. Okay, Everest. See you again next time, Marshall replied, with a smile. Bye. Later on, after Everest left, the pups continued playing. Though, Marshall still didn't even join them in their game. Ryder went into the lookout to check on something until he forgot about something he was also supposed to do. Ah, dang it. I forgot I was going to check on Marshall. I'll go do that now. Before he could get in the elevator, his pup pad started ringing. 1. So much for trying to talk to Marshall, Ryder facepalmed, picking up the call. Hey, Ryder. Katie greeted. Oh, hi Katie. What's up? Are you busy? I was just wondering if you and the pups could help me with my sign on top of the pet parlor. It fell off, Katie asked. Oh, sure. We'll help you, Katie. I'll go get Rocky and Marshall, Ryder answered. Okay, thanks, Ryder, Katie replied and hung up. Ryder went down to get Rocky and Marshall so they could help out Katie with her signboard. After calling the 2 pups, they drove their way to the pet parlor. Thanks for coming, Ryder. I don't know how this thing came off, Katie said. Don't worry, Katie. We'll fix this in no time, Ryder replied. Rocky, climb onto Marshall's ladder to get to the top to fix the signboard. Rocky, who was completely distracted, was trying to hide his giggling and blushing face. The 3 had no idea what was going on. 11. Rocky? Ryder called. Earth to Rocky. Marshall, who was about to launch his water cannon at Rocky, shouted. Hearing the sound of the water cannon coming out of Marshall's pup pack got Rocky's attention. 1. Oh, sorry, guys. I was a bit distracted over there, Rocky said. I'll go up there now. Ryder handed to Rocky the screws before he came up. Rocky walked up the ladder to the roof of the pet parlor to fix the signboard. Arf, screwdriver. In a few minutes, the signboard was standing again, back where it belonged. There. All done. Thanks, Rocky, Katie thanked him. Good job, Rocky, Ryder complimented. Yeah, nice job, Rocky. Marshall added. Suddenly his water cannon was activated by accident. It started squirting water directly to Rocky. Whoa, hey! Stop it! Rocky yelled as he was panicking while being squirted by the water cannon. Oops, sorry, let me stop this, hold on. But before he could even stop the water cannon, Rocky was already on the edge of the room, and he didn't realize it. Suddenly, he backed off another time and fell off. 3. Thankfully, Ryder was standing by and caught Rocky just in time. Marshall finally got his water cannon stopped, but he was embarrassed. "Thanks for catching me, Ryder," Rocky giggled. "Sorry about that, guys." Marshall apologized. "Now I smell like a wet dog again," Rocky frowned, shaking his fur to dry himself. "It's okay, Marshall. It was just an accident," Ryder said. "But Rocky almost fell off the roof because of me," Marshall said, starting to panic. "Marshall, calm down," Rocky replied. "Marshall, it's fine. I caught Rocky, anyway," Ryder added. "Chase said I would be fine as long as nobody gets hurt. But what if somebody did? What if nobody caught Rocky and he?" Marshall, fully embarrassed and anxious after what happened, couldn't even finish his sentence. He hopped off his fire truck and trotted away. 4. "Wait, Marshall, come back," Ryder shouted. But Marshall ran too fast, he was out of sight. 1. "Should we get the others to help?" Rocky asked. "Sure, Rocky. I'll call them," Ryder agreed. He tapped on his pup pad to call the other pups back at the lookout. "Pups, meet me here at the pet parlor. We got a runaway Marshall here right now and we gotta find him." "What happened?" Chase asked. "I'll explain later when you get here." "It's a long story," Ryder answered. Soon, the other pups came and met up with Ryder and Rocky. They started by splitting up to find Marshall. They tried to ask Mr. Porter, Mayor Goodway, and Alex, but they said that they hadn't seen him. Ryder was starting to get worried about his pup. Meanwhile, Marshall was running away from his friends. He didn't want any of them to find him, so he went anywhere he could go around Adventure Bay. He approaches a crosswalk near the bridge and decides to cross it after checking both sides. But once he was in the middle of the crosswalk, he got stuck when he stepped on a piece of bubblegum attached to the road. "Oh no," Marshall cried out, "not again." Marshall tried to pull off his foot free from the bubblegum, but it was no use. Suddenly, he heard the sound of a truck coming up to him. Uh-oh. Ryder was near the same crosswalk and saw Marshall, standing in the middle of the road. He also notices the truck coming up to him, with its tires screeching and trying to hitch the brakes. So he dashes to Marshall as fast as he could to get him out of the way. "Marshall," he yelled. Ryder got Marshall's attention. "Ryder, what are you dash? Get out of the way. I'm stuck." The truck was coming closer. Ryder rushed to Marshall and at the last second, freed him from the sticky bubblegum and pushed him out of the way. But before Ryder could get himself out of the way, screech! Wham! 6. Author's note: boom, cliffhanger. Paw Patrol. Chapter 4. Author's note. Hey, everyone. Time skip. All the pups followed the ambulance to the hospital. Entering the hospital, they ran down through the hallways until the nurse stopped them, taking Ryder to a different room. "I'm sorry, pups. But you have to stay here," the nurse said. "We'll handle this from here." "Okay, please do everything you can, ma'am. We can't lose Ryder now," Chase begged. "Don't worry, we'll do the best we can," the nurse replied. The pups stayed there, but they couldn't help but worry so much about Ryder. Chase sat there, leaning on the wall, with a tear falling down on his cheek. Skye approached him to comfort him. "Chase, it's okay. Everything will be fine," Skye tried to comfort Chase. Marshall, who stared quietly, finally spoke up. Everyone turned their attention to him when he did. "Guys, I'm sorry." "Marshall, no. It's not your fault, dude," Zuma said. "No, Zuma. Marshall corrected him, raising his voice, "This is all my fault." "Marshall, what is going on with you? You've been acting strange lately," Skye questioned. Chase, who finally stopped crying when he heard Marshall, looked at him directly. "Marshall, don't be too hard on yourself. It's not your fault," Chase said, calmly. 1. "Yeah, it was just an accident," Rocky added. "Just an accident?" "Chase, you said everything will be fine if nobody gets hurt. But didn't you see what just happened? First, I let Rocky fall off the roof. And now, look. I almost let Ryder die in that accident," Marshall explained. "What are you talking about? Rocky nearly fell off a roof?" Chase questioned. "That's not important right now, Chase. But I'll tell you later," Rocky replied. "Marshall, please. Calm down, Ryder wouldn't blame you either if he were here, listening," Rubble replied. 7. "Well, he's not," Marshall argued. "If I didn't step on that stupid piece of bubblegum, I wouldn't have to let Ryder get in the way for me." Marshall, finally out of words to say, runs away from all of them. Chase goes after him, worried about his best friend. "Wait, Marshall, where are you going?" Chase shouted. "Guys, stay here. Update me on anything about Ryder, okay?" "Okay, Chase, we will. You help Marshall," Skye answered. Chase noticed Marshall leave with his fire truck, and he followed along in his police truck. He noticed that Marshall was just heading back to the lookout. When Marshall's fire truck turned back into his pup house, he went inside, shutting the door. You'll also like 121K 1.9K and 1 it 1 8. Chase and Marshall, where are you? Can I talk to you? Chase questioned, not noticing Marshall going inside his pup house. Chase knocked on Marshall's pup house, assuming he locked himself inside. "Marshall, you in there?" Chase called. "Leave me alone, Chase," Marshall replied, sniffling. "Come on, Marshall. I want to talk to you," Chase said, not giving up easily. "I said, leave me alone," Marshall yelled, repeating what he just said. Chase, not wanting to upset his friend even more, decides to leave Marshall alone. Chase thought that he might need some space first. So, Chase heads back to the hospital, where all the other pups are. "Well, Chase?" Rocky asked, hoping for a good answer. "Marshall doesn't want to talk to me. He needs some space," Chase replied. "Yeah, maybe you should give him a little space," Rubble agreed. "Anyway, what Marshall was saying earlier," Rocky brought up. "Yeah, what about it?" Chase asked. "So, when Ryder, Marshall, and I were fixing Katie's signboard earlier, I was on the roof trying to attach the signboard. But, when I was finished, Marshall accidentally activated his water cannon and sprayed water right at me. I freaked out and fell off the roof, but Ryder caught me from below, thankfully," Rocky told them. "Oh, so that's what happened," Skye said. "We had no idea about it," Zuma added. "Yeah, Marshall felt bad after it and suddenly ran away from us. And that's when Ryder called all of you to help us find him. And then," Rocky continued, hesitating to say what happened next. "The accident." "I know, Rocky," Chase sighed. 1. "We have to tell Marshall that his clumsiness is not a big problem," Rubble said, worriedly. "Yeah, the question is, how? Because of what happened to Ryder, it's gonna be way harder to comfort Marshall about this," Skye asked. "I don't really know, guys. But what we can do now is to give him some space for now until we figure out what to say or do next," Chase suggested. While they were conversing, the nurse came out of the surgery room. There wasn't a disappointed look on her face, so they were expecting a more positive answer. "Well, ma'am? How is he?" Skye asked. "The operation was a success. But we need to put Ryder in the ICU for recovery. When his situation is better, we will move him to a new room, the nurse answered. 4. All the pups sighed in relief, but the worry wasn't completely going away from them yet. Can we see him? Chase asked. Sure, but I can only let one of you go in. Is that okay? Okay. Who wants to go? Chase asked the pups. All the pups looked at each other, not letting out a word. They all glanced back at Chase to answer him. Chase, we all want to. But, maybe you should go first, Skye gave way. Yeah, Chase. You can go first, Zuma agreed. The rest of the pups nodded in agreement. Chase smiled at them, looking back at the nurse. He spoke to her and said that he would go see him inside. Chase enters the room as the nurse opens the door. Chase couldn't help but let out another tear from his eye as he saw Ryder in bed, unconscious. He tries to talk to him even though he's not so sure if Ryder can hear him. Ryder, if you could hear me. Chase began, as his voice started to crack, don't leave us right now. You know how much we all need you, especially Marshall. He keeps blaming himself for what happened to you even though it's not his fault. I can't imagine him regretting it even more if we lose you. Chase paused as he broke down to tears in front of Ryder. He tried to continue what he was saying even though he was already crying. Please. Stay strong for us. And for Marshall too, he finished. 7. After saying everything he needed to say, he looked back at the nurse, giving her a facial expression that he was done. The nurse opened the door once again to let him out. Chase walked back to his friends, wiping the tears from his face. However, his eyes were red from all the crying. Chase, are you okay? Rubble asked. Were you crying? Rocky added. I tried to talk to him, Chase answered. What did you tell him? Skye questioned. Everything I needed to let out. Like how much we all need him, but especially Marshall. If we lose Ryder, he will regret everything forever, and I cannot imagine him feeling that way, Chase opened up. Don't worry, Chase. Ryder will be okay, and let's try to help Marshall too, Zuma assured. Guys. Rocky added, it's late and I know it's been a day. We should head back and get some rest for now. We can come back here tomorrow. You're right, Rocky. I'm tired already, too, Chase agreed. All the pups nodded. They walked the rest of the way to exit the hospital. Suddenly, Skye brought something up before heading out. Guys, can I stay? Skye asked. Skye, I know you're worried. We all are, Chase told her. But I want to stay. If anything new happens to Ryder, I'll update you as soon as possible, Skye suggested. Are you sure, Skye? It's hard to sleep in the hospital when you don't have a good sleeping place, Rubble asked. 3. It's okay. I'll do anything for Ryder, Skye assured them. Okay, Skye. Let us know if anything new happens, Chase agreed. I will, Skye nodded. Skye turned around and headed back inside. The rest of the pups hopped into their vehicles and drove back to the lookout. It was 11:30 p.m. when they arrived and it was awfully quiet. Chase decided to give it another try to talk to Marshall. He knocked on Marshall's pup house door and called to him. Plus. Marshall? You okay? But there was no answer. Can I come in? Just want to know if you're okay, Chase asked. Still, there was no answer. He wondered if maybe he was asleep already. Chase pushed the door a little bit, and somehow, it wasn't locked from the inside. He pushed it a little bit more, only to find out that Marshall wasn't inside after all. 1. Oh. Where did he go? Chase wondered. He crept inside, only to find a small note in Marshall's handwriting. He read it, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe what he just read on the note.